Chris, if you mentioned before the quality, like the quality of an asset being probably the most important thing, um, can you maybe just for people that don't understand now, I know you and I have talked about this before,
Yeah.
talked about this in the property course. Can you just maybe just kind of in as concisely as you can, just what kind of defines a quality asset in your mind?
It concisely is going to be difficult here, to be honest, Owen, but thanks for the the attempt here. I mean, the reality is, and while I'm pro property, I'm actually anti most property. I look at it, clients will send them to me and I'll just say, look, I don't like it for these reasons. The suburb, I do believe every suburb, besides sort of fringe house and land packages, which I just find it hard to ever get excited about just because of the future supply and the quality of the property housing that's getting built in these areas, and also areas where they're building lots of high-rise apartments. The same problems in house and land packages you have in these areas where they're building lots of high rises. The reason is that the type of property they're building is not that great, and and they're building lots more of it from a supply. So quality assets in shares or any sort of investment market, something where there's limited supply, like a share of a company does have that, right? And there's growing demand to own it. So when you're thinking about a property, you got to think, is this property really scarce? Are they building more of it? And so a lot of properties ruled out because of that. Like even new townhouses fail that test because you go, well, are they building more townhouses? Well, yeah, this is what I'm trying to buy. There's actually more up the street. So the first thing you do is you've got to get scarcity. And then in that, so while you go, yeah, okay, it's a house in Melbourne, they're not building any more of that in the inner ring. But is that property really scarce? Well, no, not really, because it's on a main road, and it's not what people really want. So, is it on a really good street? And so then that cuts out a lot of properties. And then even in different sides of streets, you can think, well, where would people really want to live? Well, it's actually on this side because this gets better sun than this side. And then you look at a house, you go, well, that house is great, but next door there's a mechanic. And so privacy and noise. And so I guess the way to think about a quality asset is looking at the lifestyle it provides, and is that scarce, and who would really want that lifestyle, right? So if it's a scarce property, but it's not in a great location, that's okay, but who really wants to buy it? And so you've got to think of your property and go, well, who are the demand pools that really want it? Is it a young couple? Is it a high earning young couple? Is it a double income young couple? Is it a couple that are maybe 30, 40 that want to upgrade into that area because of schooling? And so the quality of an asset it's due to its supply. How many of them is there? Is it scarce? And is it like offering a great lifestyle? And who really wants the property? And so it's a really complicated thing to sort of talk through. But once you start thinking about this demand and supply, you start overlaying in that the area that you want to buy, you can really start to see, well, actually, this is the part of the suburb people want to be. These are the streets. And you'll find that those properties are really hard to buy because the people in those streets, in that suburb, know it's the best street and they live there for 20, 30 years. So the turnover of those properties is much smaller. And even people within that suburb want to upgrade into those streets. People moving to that suburb would love to live on those streets. And those streets and those properties will outperform that suburb because A, there's less turnover of them. And B, most of the money will flow there because people want to upgrade into those streets and will pay a premium for it.
Mm. Yeah, Chris has got for those listeners who don't know, Chris has got the Elephant in the Room podcast, which you co-host, which is fantastic. So we'll put links in the show notes that where you can learn more. We've also got the Property 101 course with Chris available on Rask Education if you want to learn more about that.